start out by having our three panelists introduce themselves and briefly say what is their interest in India, Southern California relations, or gender.
My name is Mojenda Chamlish. I'm the Director of International Relations for the Abbas. My role in this particular panel is to kind of highlight the role that we play in advocating for the Indian consulate to have a presence in Los Angeles. We worked closely with Gunjan, who was the whisperer behind everything else. He helped us craft a letter that we addressed to both the Indian ambassador in Washington, D.C., as well as the Minister of Foreign Affairs in India. So our goal has been to increase consular presence in Los Angeles, and of all the G20 nations, India was the last country not to have a presence in Los Angeles. So we feel like we'll be able to.
So what your interest is with the Los Angeles Mayor's office.
Yes.
So that's our role, consular attraction, as well as my day-to-day job is to ensure that I'm in touch with all the consuls general that are stationed in Los Angeles. We currently have 93 of them, and India is the latest consulate to join us. So I work as a liaison between the mayor and the consulates. Okay.
Right.
Brian McMahon, my company is Expert Dojo. We've been in the LA early stage startup scene for about 12 years at Santa Monica. We're the most prolific investors probably in the US right now in early stage startup. We've invested in many hundreds of startups all over the world. We're pretty early investing when we started investing in Indian startups. I've had tremendous success over there, like the biggest co-working space in India, Beehive. One of our first investments, and companies like Bugatti, produced the movie Kubera, and are decentralizing entire movie production with about 20,000 pieces of IP in India, early investment of ours. Zippy and logistics, early investment of ours. So yeah, India's been very kind to us. Probably outside India, going into 70 or 80 investment in Indians. I just finished a 14-day trip. 6 cities with 12 airports, and had the great pleasure of going around. And our intention over the next 5 years is to invest in around 500 Indian startups, and through our Bangalore office, which is going to be based over in India, which we're looking forward to.
Perfect. So Dave Whalen, I'm a life sciences healthcare ecosystem builder based in LA for 25 years. I was one of those people who raised their hands earlier, never having been in India, except for here, I guess. And the Indian embassy in DC, where it was Ambassador Garcetti's second week at the time. So I've spent much of the last 5, 10 plus years helping to build the life science ecosystem in LA, and LA, as we all know, is an incredibly international city, region with international connections. Healthcare is a universal need, and so if we design new healthcare innovations here, we want to make sure that they get to India, to Europe, to Asia, South America, and vice versa. And so I spend a lot of time doing a little bit of what you do, but strictly around healthcare. How do we build these bridges to get innovations into the U.S. and get U.S. innovations out?
Dave, tell us one specific challenge you have in your activity.
There are a lot of challenges. We've talked. I mean, everything we talked about on stage, but no, I think the biggest challenge is, even though healthcare is a universal, there are so many nuances around regulatory issues, reimbursement issues, and so it's probably 99% of healthcare innovators outside the U.S., whether it's in India, the Netherlands, in Taiwan, all places we've been talking recently, they want to bring their innovations into the U.S. market until they start to realize how complicated it is from a regulatory standpoint, reimbursement standpoint. It's helping those organizations navigate those waters, no pun intended, but and vice versa, because ultimately even U.S. healthcare companies are trying to do the same thing.
Perhaps you could hire consulting groups from MBAs at UCLA or MBAs at USC or Irvine.
I have been on that side as a UCLA MBA, so yeah, absolutely.
To help some of these companies understand these
yeah.
things. Yeah. at a lower expense than a consulting firm would do, and providing a valuable learning experience for the students.
Yeah, we would love that. And community colleges do.
One specific challenge for what you're doing.
I mean,
Related under U.S. India, Southern California.
I mean, only that we haven't invested in enough Indian companies. Like, I have no challenge with you. Zero. We got tens of thousands of incredible graduates who are coming out of IIT every year. And I was with 4 of the IITs on my last trip. You have so many diaspora that are actually coming home, so that mind share is adding an entire different level of understanding for local Indian companies. You have this, Modi is doing such an unbelievable job with building up entrepreneurship over there. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Suddenly, every mom doesn't want their daughter to be a doctor and their son to be an engineer. Entrepreneurship has actually come into it. I do think, speaking of moms, it is the secret weapon of Indians. Indian moms are definitely the toughest. I know the kids have got PTSD, but they're also the most brilliant AI engineers that exist on the planet. And I was talking over in India the other day, and I said, right now we measure things in VC based on unicorns. And obviously the US have got the most amount, around 700 or so, and then you've got China, and then you've got India have just jumped from 30 unicorns, which are billion-dollar private companies, and so you measure them. And it's jumped up from 30 or 25 up to 140 within a 5-6 year period. I believe the amount of unicorns in the world will jump from 1,800 to about 5,000, and I think India will have about 2,000 of those within the next 10 to 15 years. I don't think there's going to be incremental growth or thing. I think India is going to explode with AI, and the rest of the world, including us, are going to look to India and what's happening in places like Hyderabad and other areas as like the places of excellence to learn from. So, yeah, challenges? No.
Are international markets important to these India unicorns?
No. They don't need it.
It's very important idea.
No, there are like 0 companies that I'm meeting in India who are desperately hoping that they can get access to the American market to survive. The Indian market is huge. I was in Bangalore in one of the Beehive offices, and we were playing some pickleball up at the top because Beehive are the best. And so we were up there, and I was like, oh man, I forgot my towel. And the guy's like, and so Shesh, who owns Beehive, said, you know what, let's blink it to get a towel over here. And you want a coffee while you're waiting? And so we had to get a coffee from like the 4th floor, and my towel arrived before the coffee came up from the 4th floor. Like stuff arrives in 10 minutes.
So my drone rather helicopter?
No, you don't even want to know what happens. You're not going to survive, but it's incredible, the level of consumerism. So we are 1970s America in India right now. Everybody wants to go to the hairdresser, everybody wants to go to the restaurant, everybody wants stuff delivered, and there's money to be made everywhere inside this. The technology that's being built, you've got, again, Tata, we were with Tata the other day, doing incredible things over there. So I think, look, there's obviously a place, but is it need or want? I think that everything right now is about, within India, 60% of everything is consumed in China and inside India. So they're absolutely fine. But I think, I pray that the current policy that's happening, which is driving India's back, is reversed as quickly as possible, because we need those top engineers continuing to fuel what's happening in California, or we're going to be in way more trouble than they're going to be in.
Back in August, the USC had a supply chain conference in Long Beach. I asked Gene this question: when is common sense going to reverse some of these things?
I think when there's a new administration. I don't see any desire to change, but it's really. I think that it was mentioned by Ambassador Garcetti earlier on about the Irish coming in. I think I would be happy if the Irish were sent home. We've got plenty of Irish bars. We're open. We cannot lose the Indians. We cannot. If you look throughout Silicon Valley right now, we're talking like Israeli-level domination in technology from Indians in the largest companies in the world. Our Global 500 are Indian, like all the way through and through. We need the H-1Bs back. We need to make sure green cards are nice and active, and we need to be encouraging the best of the best from IIT to continue to come over and like fuel our innovation.
Questions? Yes, right there.
This is for Mr. Chamdachi. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Krista from the Los Angeles World Affairs Council. Are there any sister city agreements between Los Angeles and any cities in India? Or has the mayor's office hosted any delegations from India?
I think that's a very good question. Me and Mr. Gupta were just talking about reviving the Mumbai-Los Angeles Sister City Partnership, which already exists. And I think the next step is going to be, Consul General, your work has started. You're going to have to connect us back to City Hall in Mumbai so that we can revive that Sister City Partnership so that we can build these relationships. And I think another big challenge that you have, Consul General, is you're going to have to continue pushing these partnerships to continue, not only just on the political side, but also on the business and tech side, right? Like as Jim said, India is the next frontier. You're talking about how everything is exploding in India, and we feel like Los Angeles has the ecosystem to continue building on that growth so that we can have that symbiotic growth between India and Los Angeles. So one of the big challenges is for you to, and looking at it also from a different standpoint, like generally the idea has been to, when can we take American investment to India? Now we want Indian investment in Los Angeles. That's going to be one of the biggest pushes that you can make. And I think that will sit in with the thing that you said, India and Los Angeles together. And I think it's going to take a back and forth partnership between India and Los Angeles.
Okay. I have two questions for you. First question, what can the LA diaspora Indians do to win the gold medal in cricket? Because it's coming to LA first time, and we want India to be the winner of the gold medal for Olympics. So I want to hear from you, okay?
I think first things first. One thing we want to make sure to do, Consul General, is for us to have an Indian hospitality house.
Yes.
I think that's going to be one of the critical pieces. I think that would encourage
We want India to win game, okay?
Yes, in Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles.
That was my number one question. Number two question I have is, what can the mayor's office do to start a non-stop flight from LA to Delhi?
So I think
We need that for business, right?
absolutely. We actually, the work has been cut out for the Consul General and Gunjan and the entire Indian community.
Yes.
The same way you galvanize, work together to advocate for this consulate is the same way that we need to work together as a
Sign a petition.
to do that. Lawa is, similar to Jean, the CEO of Lawa is appointed by the mayor, so they have weekly, monthly check-ins with the mayor to talk about that. So if that's a big topic of discussion, that can certainly be on the monthly agenda with the mayor, and we can work with our different shops to facilitate that.
Perfect.
Lots of comments on that. Let me comment. So on the flight part, that was the first thing that people began to ask me as soon as I arrived. So let me put the record straight. When we were in San Francisco, we were lucky, we worked hard and we got the flight from San Francisco to India. And we were lucky because one, Air India was under the government. And two, my father-in-law was the Minister for Civil Aviation. But that's no longer the case now. The Air India now belongs to Tatas, and they will take a very commercial decision. And I put it into the system, and they got back to me early October, and Gunjan is also aware of it, but they don't have planes right now. So, but have penciled it in, and maybe by mid or end of next year, we might hear some news. But it's in the system, so we can expect something. But I have something to ask the mayor's office, because when I was in Phoenix, the mayor of Phoenix asked me for a similar thing, and we said we'll put them in touch with the airlines. Phoenix was willing to give up to $10 million in incentive to Air India to start the flights.
Wow.
So what is yours? Because, airlines are all like hardcore business decisions, and Gene will agree with me that everybody wants that incentive in the picture. So, of course, LA is a no-brainer.
Yes.
So, secondly, on the sister city concept that we were talking. So, between India and the US, we are now having a lot of delegations moving in and out, notwithstanding the tariff issue. Every other cooperation in every other sector is moving as normal. Defense, technology, space, anything you name it, joint exercises, we are just as though nothing has happened or anything else. But we are also trying to encourage the leaders from, say, the mayors of important cities or governors of important states to go to India with business delegations. So we will encourage that, and already a few states from the US have already mounted those delegations with the respective governors ready. But LA is LA, so obviously even if the mayor leading the delegation, we would like to facilitate that. So we are very happy to do that. And, the last but not the least, of course, on the cricket issue, it's not the Sharjah Cup where the Pakistanis used to win by, betting manually. So the best team will win. So, but we know that we have the best team.
We want to provide the support. We want to provide the support.
Thank you.
India Hospitality House.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for raising that point.
India House.
I have been also approached by, the other day was Long Beach.
Yes.
Okay.
So, they asked me the question because apparently Ireland and some other country have made Long Beach their home. But I told them very clearly, obviously, if the Indian delegation would make LA their home, because this would be more nearer to the venues, etc. And that's a decision which will be taken a bit later. Yeah. We are known to take the decisions quite near to the events. That's how we are. So obviously there's a system, there's a bureaucracy, but we expect some delegations to come in sooner rather than later. Just to inform you all that India is also bidding for the 2036 Olympics in Ahmedabad. So they would want to learn from LA what you guys are doing. So of course there will be some delegations. Expect me to knock on your door.
We have the sports diplomacy
so
ready to roll out.
So that's what we want, that linkages to be done sooner rather than later. So that when the delegations come in, we work with you guys trying to see where we can fit in. Okay, thank you.
May I add something, Dick?
Yeah, please.
You talked about relationships. So we have the fortunate relationship at Lava. One of the top executives there used to be the chief operating officer of the airport in Delhi. And we had a little private breakfast earlier where he was present and we introduced him to the concert chamber. So good things will happen. I also really want to talk about some of the challenges very briefly. All the good news we're talking about right now. We tried hard to get somebody from LA 28 to be here. Okay? They didn't have time. I just want to be very blunt about that. India is going to probably send 1 million tourists to Los Angeles. Okay? These are the challenges that we need to overcome, and I think with Council General Srinivas, we have the person who can drive these points through. So I'm hopeful, but there's a lot of things we have to cover still. We just want to be realistic about that. Thank you, Dean, for bringing up the issue.
So next time in LA 28, let us know. We can facilitate that.
Yeah, so this is a question for you, Brian, and the investor who are in the I'm somewhat of an amateur from the investment side. We've done our due diligence. I feel like the space industry is really, to me, every time I watch a YouTube video of work, this is a space company, young IT guys, getting out there, us launching a rocket navigate on the moon, the same budget as Christopher Nolan's artificial $90 million. Is that kind of an advantage? Have you invested in space?
No.
Exploration in India? Why not?
No, because I'm
So the question was, has his firm been investing in Space in India.
Yeah.
Space
Space
operating.
technology, space satellite technology.
No, I am a storyteller, a brander. I think that's my thing that I'm good at. I mean, investment just comes as a part of how we make money rather than charging money to people, which is making investment sense. And I'm a math guy. And so it's very easy for me to look at, for example, like I'll give you a quick example. We invested in cities. City does brand ghost kitchens. We knew that everybody knows what ghost kitchens are. It's when brands put like kitchens in places where lots of folks have. Yeah. And so we knew that was going to become a necessity because math dictated that if you're going to have consumerism to the excessive level that's happening in India right now, the brands are going to be stretched. Like I'm good at math. I know that actually as long as the founder can execute, they'll do it. And that goes through our AI companies that we have, and data companies. Like I know data is the next frontier. Anybody doing anything on data right now? Like everybody's building AI, but they're building Ferraris on a dirt road. It's ridiculous, the garbage that I'm seeing in Silicon Valley right now, because it's all hype. The real work is in data. Like the math tells me that. The problem I have with space is I just don't understand how we can ever make money from it. I know space is awesome. I know we should be there. I know people are doing incredible things. I know rockets come up and now they come back down again. They don't even explode anymore. That's awesome. I don't know where the target is going to be, or the Motel 6 is going to be. Like, I don't know when the consumers are going to buy the stuff. And people tell me like 20, 30 years out, well, you know, so I don't understand it. I think for huge venture capitalists who have billions of dollars of money, where they can, you know, allow for wastage, whereby it sounds beautiful and they can put it in. I think for those guys, like, it's perfect. For people like me, who kind of adore those early stage founders who are building very tangible items that I can watch and I can see where they're building up to, and then we can come in and build a story and a brand around that. It's very easy for me to do. And I can go into, and the dilemma that I have, I will tell you, like, it's not really space, because I think what will happen is, as we get more and more good companies, we'll see a funky, cool company that will just be like, we have no idea how to make money, but they're awesome, so we'll do it. The dilemma I have is in defense tech, because I know I can make money all day long in defense tech. I saw 5 or 10 IIT kids that are building like the craziest stuff I've ever seen. But defense tech is really war tech. It's the same, right? The same things you do to save soldiers are the things to kill soldiers as well. So I think that's the dilemma a lot of people are going to have, like, in this new insane world that we're in right now. Is like, are we investing in things that will create a better world, or are we investing in things that just happen to be, you know, going to make a ton of money? But I think space is cool for like people who understand it.
Last question over here.
It's again for Brian. I'm Aisha, and Brian, thanks again for being an incredible spokesperson for India. I think it's like wonderful to see what a fan you are. And so for all the folks here, how should people invest in India?
With caution. No, you need to really understand the landscape. Like, I spent a lot of time, I think I got lucky at the beginning, and I had some phenomenal friends. Like, if you brought me into Tech Ghost Angels, I might know 5 people. If you brought me into Thai SoCal, literally, I don't know that there's anybody in Thai SoCal that doesn't know me. And so you have to put yourself into the groups. You have to make friends with like incredible people like Smita and her husband, who she brings to these events. And then you get to know it, right? And India is I think what I love is, I'll say one final thing which was important to me. When I first started investing here, I felt that America was getting destroyed by venture capitalism, and I felt it was like almost a cancer in America. And I did a talk which was called Kidnapping of the American Dream, which is just all about how racism and hate and just bad stuff is taking over from something which is very beautiful. Like, I'm a purist when it comes to entrepreneurship. And I had the greater pleasure of doing a TEDx talk in Kerala about 4 months ago, which was Kidnapping of the Indian Dream, which is that if India follows the same model that we have here, it will be way more destructive, because it's not for me to win, you have to lose type model, and it will turn into this. So I would say this: you need to build a collaborative network of people who are all comfortable with everybody else winning. And then you have to make sure that the suggestions you're getting from those people help you win more. Like that's how we've done so well in India. We got like 30 direct investments, 4 on the way to becoming unicorns. The ones we have over here, I would bet, I don't know, there's 3 Indians doing the same thing. But it's all based on a hugely collaborative environment. And then we decided, very finally, like we decided with the money that we were going to do in India right now is we're not even worried about bringing the money out. Like it's not an issue anymore. You can do incredible things in India. So like you find a great community to be around you, you make sure you're close to the startups, and then you spend time in India like I'm doing right now.
So, summary of that is build collaborative relationships.
And I got lucky. This could have been a really long story.
One good place to do that is the USC Marshall School of Business. School of Engineering. And also the UCLA Anderson School. Thank you very much.
Oh.